everybody, and thanks for joining us today for the first ever cat coffee chat. I think we have one coffee and one water, but we're so glad you joined us today. This is our brand new CEO and President, Chellie McLellan.
Hello.
We're going to be talking to her today about a number of topics, and really excited also just to recognize really quickly CAT's 50th anniversary. On Friday, over at the Duke Convention Center, they lit up the iconic Cincinnati sign, turquoise.
Yeah.
And of course, we lit up our building turquoise too, and we also launched our Luminary Campaign, which is what this is about. So if you missed it Friday night, I'll give you just a brief overview. So we're doing a fundraiser right now with these luminaries, and our goal is to sell 3,500 luminaries, and then we're going to line the campus all the way around is our goal to raise money, and it's for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford treatment. So it's really easy to participate. You can see the writing on here, or maybe you can, I'll read it. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. So you're able to personalize the bag as you purchase those, and you can certainly recognize someone in your family, their sobriety date. You can donate in memory of someone, a sponsor sponsee, whatever, however you wish to do that. And Chellie has got the magic sign there that tells you how to get involved. Super simple. You're just going to text the word "light the road" to 44321. Light the road to 44321. So it's great and so exciting to see awareness which is being brought to such an important cause, especially during this epidemic, and sadly probably isn't going away anytime soon. Right. So we're kind of facing a pandemic in the middle of an epidemic, or maybe it's the other way around. But in any case, they have collided.
Sure.
So I wanted to just kind of start with, since you were named CAT's President and CEO about 3 months ago, you brought such a fresh and new perspective to all things at CAT and the way that we do our life-saving work. And most people probably know that our mission is to save lives and rebuild families. And I wonder if you could give us some more insight on why you got involved.
Well, thank you so much, Nancy. And I'm just happy to be here and grateful to be a part of the mission and the vision of the work of CAT. I've spent my career, over 25 years, in the social sector and the not-for-profit sector. And I started off as an educator and worked with Hamilton County Head Start and managing Head Start sites, and then ran a center for babies who were deaf and hard of hearing, who received cochlear implants and high-powered hearing aids and learned to listen and speak like you and me. Then I ran the Nonprofit Leadership Center of Tampa Bay and got involved in capacity building for nonprofits and really loved that work. Then I fell in love, and my now husband relocated to Cincinnati. And so I moved up and had the gift of working at United Way for a few years over Children Prepare for Kindergarten, and then ended up with the gift of working in Price Hill and ran a center, the Literacy Center West, and then ultimately, right before I came here, worked with moms who were at risk, moms who we helped them become employed and own homes and really build lives for themselves and their children. And while very powerful and meaningful work, I got a call and someone mentioned, hey, would you be interested in taking a look at this job? And I went on the website and read a lot about the mission, and then came over and had a walkthrough and just felt at home. I, in my career, haven't had the experience of just knowing that this was it. This was my next step, and the mission of the Center for Addiction Treatment is very near and dear to my heart and my family's. Addiction runs deep on both sides of my family. So just to have the opportunity at this point in my career to work to help make sure the lights are on and the doors are open for the next person in need is just a really great thing.
That's terrific. We're so glad that you're here with us now.
Thanks, thank you.
Yeah, all the way from Tampa Bay to
I
Cincinnati.
know. And everyone says, why did you come this direction? And then I said, oh, well, what was I going to do?
Yeah, well, Cincinnati is a great place.
It is.
So tell us a little bit about why you enjoy being a leader at the organization.
Well, the gift of CAT is the talent here, the amazing staff and outstanding board of directors And so I get to come to work today with an extremely talented team who have firmly, are committed to making sure that the next person in need has the resources that, to thrive, to take that first step towards recovery. And it is a job I look forward to coming to work every day. It's a gift.
No better gift.
No better gift, that's right,
Yes,
that's
yes.
right, that's right.
So, what would you say differentiates CAT from other treatment centers?
Well, I will say, one of the things I researched early was that CAT is an open door organization, so that if you are struggling with addiction and you would like help, you come to CAT of your free will, and you stay, and if you need to leave, you can leave. We do not lock doors. There's no one mandated to be here, which is important to me. I believe that, we all hit our own bottoms, and until you hit a bottom, it's very hard to bounce. And, so if you're ready, we're here. We have our hand out for you, and if you're not, then we hope you'll come back when you are. So that's one of the pieces. And just the legacy, 50 years of being here serving the community is outstanding, and that we have medically assisted treatment for anyone in need, and no one's turned away because of an inability to pay. So, with all of that information, it was just a no-brainer. Amazing organization, cornerstone of recovery for this city.
Can you talk a little bit about how you're shaping a culture here of diversity and inclusion?
Sure. So, addiction knows no bounds. Addiction knows no political party, no race, no ethnicity. It is a disease that strikes every corner. And it's important that our staff and our board and our staff reflect that, reflect the clients that come through the door. So we work to recruit and to engage a diverse set of individuals so that we are strong in just having different thought, and reflection, different perspectives on life and on recovery and on how to get the work done.
Now, recently, and I missed it because I was out for a little while, but recently we had the graduation. That was the Hope Parade because of COVID. So talk a little bit about what the Hope Parade was like.
The Hope Parade. So when I was interviewing for this job, the board said, the best time, their favorite part of their work with CAT was coming to graduation. So typically, non-COVID, graduation would happen inside in a great hall, and family members come, and folks who graduate from the program get to give up and give their testimony and talk, and it's really a family affair and a chance to just reflect and celebrate. Well, with COVID-19, we had to cancel all of our plans for internal kind of seating and gathering. So the staff, Michelle Pritchard and the team got together and said, well, then we're just gonna hold it outside, out front, and we're gonna keep everyone COVID safe. And so love their creativity and coming up with an opportunity for folks to come through their cars to the parking lot. Residents that are here get to come out and cheer on the folks who graduated. The cars pull through, counselors are there, staff are there, board members, volunteers get to come and cheer them on. And then for the last graduation, we had the Harleys Against Heroin folks come and lead the procession and celebrate recovery. And they've been a big supporter of ours and have helped to create a fund for Claremont County for individuals who can't afford treatment or the full cost or anything, and help scholarship someone to ensure that CAT stays whole in its funding and makes spaces for folks at Claremont. So we started a fund for Claremont, and we look forward to doing that for other regions so that we have a scholarship fund, because most of our funding comes from Hamilton County. So we have Hamilton County covered, but if you live outside of Hamilton County, it can still be a struggle for total cost funding. So the graduation is this amazing celebration, and I tell you, I get teary every time, because as the cars come through, I see the kids in the car, or the group of folks graduating together who are back here, celebrating and receiving a certificate and hugs, well, COVID hugs, and say, and it just is a testament to the work and the team here.
So will you talk a little bit about, recently there was a memorial, because it's, the happy side, of course, is the hope parade, and many people can and do recover.
Right.
But sometimes, people don't complete that.
Right.
And don't make it. And so I know that recently, there was a memorial for staff to recognize just that. So describe that a little bit.
Sure. So we lost one of our own, a young man who come through the center and was working with us, and it's just a heartbreak. And I will say my experience with addiction is that it's jail's institution or death. We know that folks who don't seek recovery and don't maintain their recovery plan and path, that the options become limited. And it's an elevator going down, and you can get off at any floor. And another thing with this young man, a lot of times, one of the things that takes folks out is the looking good disease, and that you get the job, you fall in love, you have a baby, as he had just done, his first child, and you forget. You forget what helped you get sober. You forget what it takes every day to keep your sobriety whole. And it's my understanding either what you're doing is taking you towards the next drink or drug, or it's helping you walk away from it. And it really is one day at a time. So yeah, it is hard when we lose someone we love so much.
And I mentioned earlier about how the epidemic that's not going away, and now we're dealing with this pandemic at the same time. Can you talk a little bit about some of the safety measures and just changes that have been made here since COVID-19 has come into play?
Sure. So, I feel blessed. I think it's been an amazing experience as a team to kind of come together and to rally around safety and securing the building and the facility so that our staff and clients stay safe. So in the beginning, before we had COVID testing, we just made sure that as folks came in, that they were quarantined in separate rooms for 14 days and that their needs were met, but that we kind of developed families of folks in recovery and families of counselors and staff so that we could rotate through if an outbreak happened, that we wouldn't totally go down, that we kind of had these clusters of folks coming through. After, a month or two, we were able to onboard testing here. So every client that comes to the door receives a COVID test. It takes 2 to 4 days to get the results. And so during that period, they're quarantined. But they, of the folks who come to the door, about 4% have tested positive. And then we make sure that they have a home to go to or a safe place to go to convalesce and to quarantine until they make it through either symptoms of the disease or they test negative and move forward, and they're welcome to come back at that point. So we also then, for the rest of the staff, for the whole building, everybody has their temperature taken as they come through the door. They're asked, have they had any symptoms? We make sure that everyone wears masks, and a lot of our team meetings still happen on GoToMeeting online instead of us meeting in rooms together. So we're taking every precaution we can. We don't have visitors coming right now. We're keeping as much as we can. The folks coming in the door are generally staff and clients. It's just to keep down the flow of traffic in the building itself. So everything we can do, we are doing.
Okay. So again, with you kind of coming in new, I know you've got some new programs and services that we're going to be launching soon.
Sure.
Maybe just for folks that are tuning in and kind of new to CAT, it might even be helpful just to talk about the services that we offer and then some new things that are coming online.
Yeah, sure. So just know that if you're listening, if you or someone you know needs help, give us a call at 381-6672, 381-6672. You can go to our website, it's there. We offer medically assisted withdrawal services so that you withdraw in a safe place from drugs and or alcohol. And once you're through the withdrawal management portion of your stay, there's short-term residential. The men stick together, the women stick together. It's a safe place for you to spend time taking a look at the addiction and start doing the work to heal and to find a way to live in the world without using alcohol or drugs. And for those who need some help and support, we have a medically assisted treatment program that is monitored, and there's a lot of support and counseling throughout the programming. So we have a very strong counseling team that helps to support and provide a backbone of recovery services to the medical side of the organization. As of next week, we are going with the medically assisted treatment program. We're opening back up to walk-ins. So before COVID-19, you could walk in to the MAP clinic, and we had to shut that part down for a while we were getting through staffing and just logistics. But that'll start back up Monday. And we hope in the near future to have an intensive outpatient program, IOP program we're launching. So we're looking forward to that. So I'm excited.
What all would be involved in that?
Well, so it would be an opportunity for someone who doesn't need to come for short-term residential, who doesn't need to come to our facility to help work on getting and staying sober. They can start working with a counselor and have an intensive outpatient treatment program that they could, work on their recovery and their program with a counselor and stay at their residence.
As an outpatient?
As an outpatient
setting, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's terrific. So really, you are not one size fits all.
Yeah.
This organization is,
Yeah.
we're offering many different ways.
That's right. There are a lot of roads to recovery.
To get what they need.
Right.
That's terrific. So I want to talk a little bit about looking to the future and your vision, which I know is a big one. It's kind of an open question.
Yeah.
But maybe just in the next couple of years, what types of things do you see this organization doing?
I will tell you that we're shifting from a governance policy standpoint with the board of directors to a governance policy model, the Carver model, which in and of itself is a huge shift for this organization, and it's taking on a more policy-driven, focused approach to governing, and really gives a lot of freedom once the parameters are set to our organization, to us, and to our team to explore opportunities and figure out if it's a great fit for us or not, or an opportunity for growth, and then build on those ideas. We know that there's a great need for medically assisted housing opportunities. Folks who are on in a MAP program have a hard time finding recovery housing right now, and that's something we're exploring to see if that's something we can add to our campus and strengthen the resources in the community. There's a lot of need for families because we know that while the alcoholic or addict has the ism of the disease of the drug or alcohol abuse, the family can be just as sick. Sometimes the disease can affect them even more, the isms of the disease. And so we would want to really strengthen our resources and opportunities for families to recover and grow with us. So, we're just at the stage that we're exploring ideas, and we look forward to seeing what sticks. I think for now, for the rest of this year, as we head into 2021, really building the momentum back from COVID, because we have 80 beds, but we're about 40 filled right now. And so really trying to regroup, make sure that everyone who was on a wait list or a callback list has a bed if they need it, and build that momentum is our first charge.
So in the next year or so, we're really working really hard towards that.
Yeah.
And it's important to the community to keep that capacity to serve the community the best that we can, but it has been such a challenge with COVID, and I'm sure that's true for not only us, but the hospitals are facing it, any kind of business really. So it's been you picked a heck of a year to come in.
Hey,
But
I like a challenge.
Yes, we're getting through it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what ways, or what are some of the challenges that you see for CAT?
Well, just probably that, just the the momentum, just picking up the momentum from, we were down to, I think the lowest census was about 15 beds, which has never been the case in the history of the organization. And so just working to strengthen the vibrancy and making sure that we're back to capacity and humming, I think is my greatest challenge right now.
How about funding?
You know, funding, there have been a lot of, the government programs, the payroll protection program was very helpful. We appreciate that line that was opened up to many of us. We've been able to utilize some of the CARES Act dollars. But ultimately, for us, our revenue is generated by providing services to clients. So when our census and our numbers are down, our revenue's down. So, you know, we hope that our community will step up as we light the road to recovery. Yes, yes, and through some grassroots fundraising, through grant writing, through advocacy, you know, making sure, I mean, something as simple as making sure you participate in the census, which doesn't seem to connect to us, but actually when you participate in the census, it creates more tax dollars, more dollars that flow into our community that can be utilized by agencies like ours, who are social sector, who are dependent on grants and revenue from those types of streams of funding. So, you know, participate in the census, vote, you know, look at the elected officials, see who cares about recovery, see who's interested in making sure that the lights are on, the doors are open. And that's another way that you can participate in helping to ensure a successful year.
How about volunteer opportunities?
So there are, you know, it's kind of tricky right now because our doors haven't been open to volunteers during COVID. But over the coming months, as things loosen up, we really do look forward to having folks who are interested in helping to serve as recovery support folks for people in recovery, help them to get to meetings, help them to stay on track. We hope to have more volunteers back in the building.
That's great.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts for us today?
You know, I just, I want to reiterate that if you're struggling, if you're out there, if you're not sure, you know, I have the gift of recovery. As I said, the disease has ravaged both sides of my family. And you know, I feel called to this work. You know, I have 2 young girls and, you know, who knows what their path will be, what their life will be. But I want to make sure there are programs like this available because in my experience, it is a genetic disease. I do believe, given the genetic makeup I have, I had a predisposition to when I took that first drink took me. And I can say that at this point in my life, you know, I'm 20 years into recovery. That's only as good as today. But I say it because, you know, good things have happened in my life, difficult things I've you know, gotten jobs, I've lost jobs. I've relocated, I've had heartache, I have had triumph in some of the most amazing moments like having kids, but none of it would have been possible if I had picked up, if I had used. So if you're out there and you're not sure, give us a call, you know, reach out to Kat, reach out to someone here, or find a meeting near you, find a spiritual home, find something, some way to connect to recovery support, because, you know, it's a groovy way of life. I mean, I am blessed today that I get to live a sober life, and I wish there was a secret handshake. I wish I could reach out and give it to you, but there isn't. It's an inside job, and so we hope that you'll join us on this road to recovery. If it's something you feel like you need, you know, don't hesitate to reach out.
That's a great message. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining us today, Chellie. And folks, I hope that you've enjoyed this coffee and water chat. We're planning on many more of these to come. Just stay tuned to Facebook page and we'll make some announcements as we go. We really appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.